What's this mention button?
Mention other people.
So I can mention people?
Hey! Welcome back to our channel. So, last time we talked a little bit about hyperindependence and how changing our language and changing the words that we use can empower us instead of constantly operating from a space of vulnerability. Well, let's do a little bit more psych ed today and talk about seasonal affective disorder. What is it? Seasonal affective disorder contains several of these characteristics as indicated by the DSM-5. However, it's important to recognize that sometimes those of us can experience symptoms, if I could talk today, of seasonal affective disorder when it gets sunny, and it doesn't always have to be gloomy and sad and depressing outside. But it's a real thing. Oftentimes, people can tend to feel more depressed, sad, lonely, isolated, abandoned, all of the feels, when the weather gets a little bit sadder, a little bit gloomier, when we spend more time inside because it's cold, or even sometimes when we spend less time outside because it's too hot, or maybe it's uncomfortable for us. Some key things to understand about seasonal affective disorder is, number one, find a therapist. That's the first thing you want to do. Secondly, understand what your symptoms look like. Do your symptoms look like isolation? Do they look like, impulsive shopping? What does it look like for you when you are going through these different phases of your moods? And lastly, do you have a support system? What does your support system look like? And any opportunity that you have to get some lovely vitamin D is extremely important. One of the biggest things that I've learned as a Black woman in America is that most of us are deficient in vitamin D, and vitamin D is extremely important when it comes to your mental health and your mood. And they don't tell you that when you go and get medical care. So thanks to one of my lovely partners and colleagues, she educated me on the implications of having low vitamin D and how it can impact your mood and your mental health. So maybe this is an opportunity for you to go to your doctor, get checked out, and see what your vitamin D levels look like. Because if they're looking a little bit low, maybe that's what's happening, and it might not be seasonal affective disorder. Another thing I'd like to point out is we don't want to pathologize everything. What does that mean? It means everything doesn't have to be a problem. Sometimes things just happen and they're a challenge in our life that we just have to overcome. So it's okay to sometimes just say, like, I'm just feeling off today and I just need some time to myself. It's okay to say, like, hey, I just need some space. And it's okay to set appropriate boundaries to help us understand who we are as people and how it relates to the community around us. So this was short and sweet and give you some psych ed on seasonal affective disorder. But as always, talk to your professionals. Go get a therapist if you don't have a therapist. Get a psychiatrist if you need one. Whatever you need to be the best version of yourself is what you need to do, regardless of what anyone else has to say. Don't let people discourage you from doing what you need to do to live your best life and be your best self. Like I just said in my last session, is why are we begging for a seat at a table that we built? So if you built the table of yourself, why are you begging people, places, and things for their approval to have a seat at that table? You built it, so keep it up and keep it maintained. Anyways, see you next time. Peace.